this is an intro to Meteor talk.
Hi, Christie.
Hi. Okay, so this is a three-part discussion. First is an introduction to Meteor, and the second is a patterns in development, and the third part, which will be brief, is a talk about Meteor and Python. So what is Meteor? Meteor is a complete open source platform for building web and mobile apps in pure JavaScript. It's completely open source, and it's isomorphic. So you just write once, and you build to many platforms. It's built for the web and mobile apps. The focus is on the apps and not the infrastructure. The website is meteor.com. Who is behind Meteor? Meteor is actively maintained by full-time employees at the Meteor Development Group. They recently received $20 million in Series B funding, and their revenue product is Galaxy, which will be the official host coming soon. Meteor is completely open source. Specifically, it's under the MIT license. But you own the code, and you can host it anywhere. You can dive right into Meteor. Yes?
Wow.
Oh, yeah, sure. Okay. Okay. So you can dive right into to Meteor. But it's helpful to know these basics, JavaScript in particular, and also MongoDB. There is a great online course that's free, available on MongoDB's website, university.mongodb.com. If you come from a relational database background, it helps to learn about schemaless design. And just know the basics of HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap. And building your code, it helps to also have a really good workflow using Git and GitHub. Although you don't need to know asynchronous and callbacks in the Node.js, Meteor is built on top of Node.js, and so in order to understand the language, it helps to know about asynchronous coding and callbacks. So this is going to be a quick code demo. You can follow along with me if you want to. This is for the OS and Linux. Okay, so I already installed it here, but what would you would do is type curl https://install.meteor.com, and then pipe it to shell. I already installed it. And if you have any problems, just use sudo and then curl with the rest of the command. And to work with the demo, you just type Meteor, create -- example, and then to-dos. Okay, so there's one created here, to-dos. And so when you look into the directory, when you do an ls -la, you'll see you have a .meteor folder, and that is a hidden folder that contains everything you need to run your Meteor application. So if we take a peek inside that folder, you can look at the packages file. The packages file has the names of all the packages that your Meteor app is using. You can add packages by typing Meteor add and then the name of your package. You can see the types of packages that are available by typing Meteor search and the search name, say, let's say Google. If you want to use a Google API. And so what Meteor does is it updates your package, and so all dependencies are taken care of for you. Okay, so while that's happening, I'll just run that in the background. I want to show you what the application looks like. And so to run the application, you just type Meteor at the command line. It's frozen. So I have two browsers open. I have one Chrome and one Firefox. And so this is what the to-dos application looks like. So let me just check and make sure it's running. Okay, oh, it is running. Okay. Okay. So this is the sample application, which is a to-dos program. It has the sign-in, and you can join. And this is standard. It's very easy to add a login flow with Meteor. It is actually just one line of code. You put them in handlebars. What Meteor has is their own version of handlebars called spacebars. In this flow, it's a custom sign-in. So, so here, I'm going to create a new list, and the default is I'm going to sign in first. Oh, no, that's okay. Not sure what happened here. So So I'm going to rerun Meteor. So every time you run Meteor, it updates the package. It starts up the MongoDB server, and then runs your app. If you're running it locally, it will show up on your local host, and the default is port 3000. Okay, so it's starting up. To get into the MongoDB database from the command line, you just type Meteor Mongo, and then you can access your collections. Here you do show collections, and this collection is to-dos, the lists, and the users. To peek inside the collections, you just type db dot the name of the collections, to-dos dot find, and this will find everything. Let me see, you find a smaller one, the list. Okay. So here, okay, now the application is running at the local host. Okay. So here, I'm going to sign in with my test account. Yeah, just created it. Okay, I got them. Okay, forget that. Okay, so I want to. Okay, so to type in a new task, I just type it here. Okay, I'm gonna have the same page on this browser. So I have here. And so I'm going to type in a new task for the PyGotham 2015. So I'm going to do a demo and maybe take some questions. Okay. So this is not a private list. Okay. I'm going to just maybe, okay, I'm just going to create a new account here, Doe at somewhere.net and somewhere.com, and test to join. Okay, so I'm logged in, and I'm going to add some new tasks here. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Okay, sorry about that. I knew this was going to happen. I was going to do a recorded demo. Okay, sorry about that. So basically, whatever changes you make here is reflected here on another browser. You can actually test it out. For some reason, it's not working here. Okay, I put up. I deployed it onto, okay, so to deploy this app, you would type Meteor deploy and the name of your app. In this case, I used PyGotham 2015.meteor.com. And that is a free server that's available to anyone. This is just for sharing with your friends, for a handful of users. So this name was available. So I deployed this to-do, so you can go there right now, PyGotham 2015.meteor.com. I'm sorry?
You are brave.
Okay. Okay, so this is a little bit about the architecture of Meteor. Okay, so you have the isomorphic build. The idea behind Meteor is that you have just one language for the front end and the back end, and you just write once, and you can build it for the web and for mobile devices like the iPhone and the Android. And you can use any UI reactive package. The one that comes with Meteor is Blaze. You can use React and Angular. And what Meteor has is this protocol that was created in-house called DDP. And it takes advantage of your client data cache to make just user response very fast. The principle, one of the main principles of Meteor is to put data on the wire and not push out HTML. What they have right now is live query support for MongoDB. Coming soon is support for Redis. They have a prototype right now, and there will be support for SQL. And then in the bottom you have here app microservices, where you have applications doing one thing very well, which will communicate to any one of those databases or REST API. Okay, so with MongoDB and in applications development in Meteor, you just build the app and let the schema evolve. And that's a principle from MongoDB. And this is just a good rule of thumb to know when you're doing database design is when do you denormalize your database. If you have one-to-one, you embed. And with NoSQL, it's JSON documents. And so what you do is you try to kind of nest all of the collections. But yeah, so if you have just like one-to-one kind of relationship, you would embed. If you have one-to-many, but really it's one-to-few because there's a 16 megabyte limit to your objects. So for one-to-few, you would embed your collection. So if you have, say, tasks and a room, like if you're doing, this is an example with rooms, then you would have a collection called room and tasks. If you have a many-to-many relationship, that's when you need to start linking, which is more of like a relational database kind of view, where you use a unique ID to reference your other collection. Okay, so when in Meteor, you get a lot of reactivity for free. And there might be situations where you want to do your own reactive patterns. And what's in Meteor is something called observe and observe changes. And you can have it when your server starts up. And so as soon as your server starts up, you would observe any changes in your database. Or you can have observed changes in your top-level code. Okay, this is getting more in depth with Meteor. And this is something you can reference later, because when you get into Meteor, it's very easy. And so that could be a little deceptive, because you might want to do these things and you're not sure exactly like where you would put these segments of code, because there are examples on docsmeteor.com. And a principle that's really good to know is about publish and subscribe. And you'll see this. You'll see this often, but it's good to get a handle on it, and it has to do with the reactivity. So, so what you have here is your server side that publishes information. So basically, publish is what the server allows the client to see, and subscribe is what the client is requesting from the server. And so you can prevent insecure data being available to any client by putting all the data that you want to push out inside the publish function. And then you have something called tracker.autorun. Whatever you want the client to do over and over again, any kind of function you would put inside the tracker autorun. But a lot of the functions that are available in Meteor does all of this for you. You don't really have to write all of this. This is in case you do want to write something that you want to have repeat. And then here is an example, and this example is available on Meteor's website. So one of the things that I found a little confusing about reactivity in general is about these function parameters. When you're reading the documentation, and a lot has to do with the fact that the documentation is not keeping up to date with all the changes that are taking place. Meteor just came out last November and is at 1.0 and is a top favorited GitHub project. So you have here ID and fields, and the results that are coming back, ID is actually the Mongo object ID, so it's underscore ID, and the fields are whatever have changed. So you have both observe and observe changes. With observe, you get back the complete document. With observe changes, you just get the fields. So just pointing that out. And so if you want to also look for packages, you can look on Atmosphere.js, as well as the command line, which I showed earlier with the Meteor search and the search term. And then you add the package by typing Meteor add and the package name. And you can see the Meteor packages that are being used by your application by typing Meteor list. And this is just kind of like a generic search pattern when you're problem solving and learning how to code in Meteor, which is getting really good at find. Find at the page level, find at the directory level. In Unix, you would use a grep command and exclude the .meteor folder. And this is a helpful tip to create playgrounds. It's very easy to just create another sample. You create a boilerplate by typing Meteor create and the name of your application. And also peek inside the database whenever you can. Many times features creep in, like many tiny features creep into your project, and so you want to stay focused on like 1 to 3 features for your MVP, and just create CRUD for each of those features, create, read, update, and delete. So here are a couple of production servers. You have the free Meteor server, and then there are real production servers like DigitalOcean, Modulus, Heroku, and Galaxy, which is the Meteor Development Group official hosting site. So this is a little bit about Meteor and Python. Someone has recently written a DDP client for Meteor, and it's at its early stage. You could just play around with it by typing pip install python-meteor. This project, there was a similar project started way back, but it hasn't been actively maintained. This one is being actively maintained. So a couple of the challenges with Meteor is unlearning, relational versus NoSQL, iterative versus reactive programming, and the documentation. Scaling is, this is the kind of question that comes up all the time. Does Meteor scale? And that's a big question to ask whenever you're developing for a commercial app. It's actually similar to other platforms. You're going to have the same issues. It's dependent on your database system. Also one of the other challenges is keeping up with active changes and accessibility to online information. Actually, a very good explanation for JavaScript. Jeff Schmidt from the Meteor Development Group had a YouTube video about the JavaScript State of the Union. And it's kind of like when you want to fly a car, basically. You can find propellers, you can find all the parts for a plane, but you'll be creating something that no one can maintain. And maybe the car plane will fly, but it's just not maintainable. So why learn a new platform? Well, it's an opportunity to learn about different points of view. Since I've been learning Meteor, I learned about Learn You Node, which is an interesting take on education, and about security. There was a very good paper by Emily Stark from the Meteor Development Group who wrote about why Meteor doesn't use cookies. And so what's next? Meteor 1.2 is going to support the ECMAScript 2015. And they're coming soon with Galaxy. And you can actually vote on Meteor's roadmap on Trello.com. And there's a Meteor New York meetup where we meet once a month. And here are some resources. Okay, thank you so much.